Okay guys, my name is Caroline Pemberton. There are many familiar faces here tonight. You guys may know me. I like to hang around Offis quite a lot and MC these events. But I really like Skunkmonk because it's kind of, I think it's really cool and interesting, and it's an exclusive event for you guys. So it's for creative technologists and digital marketers to kind of come in, get to know each other, hang out with one another and talk about really interesting things that affect you guys. So there's lots of interesting people in the room. So please don't, I could hear you anyway talking away. So it's not like you're really that shy. But if you are feeling shy, make sure you introduce yourselves to each other. But we're going to give you some conversation topics to break the ice anyway. Before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping, of which there is hardly any. Drinks are located over there. The bathroom is just behind me. That's about it. It is a digital event, so usually you're allowed to use your phone here and hashtag and put up eClub and Office and do whatever you like. And don't be shy. Make sure you think about questions and hold them. We're going to have a panel discussion tonight as well. So there'll be an opportunity for you guys to have a voice and have a conversation, which is very exciting. You are now all looking at me very quietly, so that's all right. You're allowed to be a little bit rowdier than that. But tonight we are having a really fascinating conversation. It's something I'm kind of interested in. We're talking about, it's something that you will probably educate me on a lot more than I may educate you on, so that's why I've got some really good speakers. We're talking about marketing automation and why cloud matters to marketers. And, you know, I actually don't work in this industry. I work in television and media, and so I was having a chat to the Office guys and I was saying, well, why does it matter? And they were saying, well, there is such a thing as success failure. And that brought up a quote of mine, a favourite quote that I like to live by and that I'm sure you have all heard before, and it starts, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." And it continues, that quote, so I would recommend you guys all go and look it up and have a read because it's a beautiful, beginning of a beautiful quote. But it's true, like what happens if we're so successful that we can't cope with that? And it's not something we think about because everyone wants to go viral, right? Well, I do. I have a video on YouTube where I inhale a fly in the middle of a piece to camera, and that kind of went a little bit viral, but it would have been funny if it went... You should look it up, Caroline Swallows a Fly on YouTube. It'll entertain you at the very least. Because what happened was the fly kind of buzzed into my face and I was talking like I was doing sports news, so I was standing there, I was doing this piece of camera and I was like, the Black Heart team are just coming into transition phase and rah, rah. And a fly literally crawled down my face. I inhaled it, went straight up my nose, and it actually came, this is gross, but it actually came out, you know where your nose kind of sinuses meet your mouth? Yeah, the fly came intact all the way through, landed in my mouth, and I went, check that out. You wouldn't see Katrina doing this, right? And that's about my claim to viral fame. But if you do go viral, if one of your campaigns, marketing campaigns goes viral, do you have the wherewithal and the technology to back it up? Can you cope with the scale? Can you cope with the enormity? Can you cope with costs? So that's what we're talking about tonight. And I think it's a really interesting topic. Do you agree? Yeah. So we've got some really good speakers. We'll get straight into the action. And when we talk about success failure, often things that are a little bit unpredictable might happen. Like when our keynote speaker for tonight, who was meant to be coming all the way from the United States of America, got on a plane whose engine failed and had to turn back and is now still in the United States. But don't worry, Rick and the team from Office, they have a plan. And they have a plan with someone that you know very well to present Kim Weins, who was going to be our keynote speaker. Now she is still in the States and on my notes somewhere, which is written very small. I was trying to impress you guys by like not looking down too much, but now I can't even see. Oh gosh, maybe old age is creeping up on me. But she is a VP of marketing for RightScale Cloud. So she couldn't be here, but Chai, the CEO of Office, is actually going to present her slides for us. So although we don't have a wonderful, beautiful American lady, you have a dynamic boxing coach CEO in Chai, Chuawiwat, who is going to take you through Kim's slides. Round of applause, please. Take it away, Chai.
Do I need a microphone?
Actually, there's 4 microphones in here. You can have a lapel, you can have that one, you can have my one.
Thank you, Caroline. All right. Yes, so sorry Kim couldn't make it. She did a really good presentation in the US to a whole bunch of marketing people, and when I saw the video, I went, we want her. She'll be perfect as Skunkmonk. And we lined it all up 4 weeks ago she agreed, and then bang, not available. So too bad. So it's, thank you for everyone for stepping up and helping us out. I think we've got some great panelists, which is awesome. Just want to go through quickly the relationship between Offis and RightScale. RightScale are a cloud management platform, and Offis is the first RightScale partner in Australia, so we can resell it, and also we can do managed services for it. We're the only managed services partner. So you don't need to buy it, you can just hop onto our license, we'll create an account for you, and off we go. So, and you'll see how RightScale fits into the cloud management environment in a second. So if you're not aware of the cloud, basically it's infrastructure, computer, CPU, RAM, storage network that you can buy by the hour and pay by the hour. And digital people love it because typically it's fast, it's reliable, and it's cost effective. So great, bring it on. Quick summary of what that is. If you haven't heard already all about digital marketing, it's all about social, mobile, location. I walk by and it tells me I forgot to buy this shirt at this shop, go and get it. All that kind of stuff. That's where the whole digital social network's going. Kim had a really good story here. I can't remember it, so I'm just going with this. But what you do get to is the next part of it is once you've passed the website, the social, the mobile, the location, you're onto the Internet of Things. So around the office, your printer, your scanner, if you still have a fax machine, that still has IP addresses. And then now we're getting to refrigerators and cars and all that kind of stuff. And then you get to this thing called quantified self, which is where you get the mobile phone, which is a wearable watch from Apple or other companies. You got the Fitbit, and I'm a diabetic. I want to get the watch that tells me my blood sugar. That'll be awesome. I don't really care about my pulse. I want to get my blood sugar. But what that's leading to is the bits in blue are the bits that I wrote, because I had to interpret what Kim did. Basically, all of this is leading to data analysis, which is big data. Who am I? Where am I? They're really taking marketing towards targeting the individual. So the target is you, and it's real-time analytic marketing. And I got that from Mark Holland, wherever you are, Mark. There it is. Thank you. He can tell you all the math behind all of that. I just like the term, so I stole it. But basically, that's what marketing is going through. So we're picking up, all those logos up there: Pinterest, Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter, all of those. Viral. Caroline talked about the words viral marketing. And, basically I market to someone, which is my target audience. They really like it. They share it with someone else that I didn't know about. And suddenly, boom, everyone, gets it. And off you go. Craigslist and all those kind of things are an example. Pretty much, I think you guys understand that. I have a saying when I look for a computer feature or technology, I tell the guys all the time, there must be a checkbox for that. Now, this feature is available. There must be a checkbox. There's no checkbox for viral. You can't pick a campaign and go, I want this one to go viral. It's unpredictable, so you just don't know what's going to happen. And I wrote another statement there which says marketers need to understand a bit IT in order to handle viral. It's actually incorrect. Marketers need to know someone that understands IT. I thought of that after I wrote that, see? So if you know someone that knows IT that can help you plan, and we talked about this with some of the people earlier, if you plan the infrastructure correctly and then you write the code correctly, which someone like Dynatrace who can do monitoring and testing can help you, you actually get a campaign that is reliable, that does work. Just because it's in the cloud doesn't mean it is reliable and will work and it's cost effective. We know organisations that put their applications in the cloud and it costs them more money. Can happen. Then Kim went on to talk about a number of different scenarios that she's seen, case studies, and this was the first one she put up. And it's an Australian one, and was in her other slide that she did a year ago that I saw as well. So everyone's familiar with the whole click frenzy, and then therefore the click fail. Click fail got 28,000 mentions on Twitter within the first 3 hours of the campaign. It's a very famous failure. Everyone remembers it, right? So they should have asked us, when you go to a campaign that you want, you're going to blast it out to 22 million people on TV and radio and go on all the morning talk shows about it, don't ask everyone to log in at the same time the next morning. It's just not rocket science, really. You register before, you're already there, click the button through. I understand you want to capture the emails, but making them all log in at the same time was not They did it again the next year. So there you go. Target, I think just a little bit over a year ago in the US, did a campaign with Missoni, and Kim tried to explain it to me. I said, no, I understand Missoni, I've got one of their shirts. So they did a campaign, and it was very successful in the US, and it brought their site down. And just, Everyone loved it, went to the website, crashed it. 2 weeks later, they'd already scheduled to do it in Australia. They didn't fix it. They just ran the same campaign. Yeah, Jonathan's already going, you're kidding me. Yep. Didn't learn from it and it crashed. The 2 anchor customers for RightScale in Australia, one of them is Target. So it doesn't happen anymore because they basically said, yep, we're now taking that Australia Post and Target and then we're bringing on 2 or 3 other customers. But that's now not a problem. So you're going to learn. I was going to remove this slide, but seeing as this is actually us over there, I left it in here. What marketers are looking for is speed to market, scalability, reliability, performance, and cost effectiveness. It's a pretty generic message. The 2 examples previously didn't have that, and we'll do some examples now that had all those features built in. Mars had a campaign in the US less than 12 months ago. Actually, it was in summer in the US. Every Friday, you could go to their website, give them some information, get a code, and get free chocolate. 26 different brands of chocolate, M&M, Twix, and all those. You guys know all of those. And it was, fantastic. The first Friday they ran it, for about 3 hours, was really good. By the 4th hour, it crashed. We all know that. The other compounding mistake they made was they put it on an internal server that ran some internal infrastructure for them. It was not explained what it was, but let's assume it's a DNS or something, So everything inside failed as well. So the whole company went out, gone. So classic. So someone within the Mars group had heard of the word RightScale and rang them. And we had a similar experience with the Australia Day Greatest Job in Australia campaign. So they rang RightScale, and before next Friday, so they had basically less than 7 days to get this up and running, moved it from their own internal infrastructure into AWS, ran it, tested it, got it working. By next campaign it ran. Not only did it run and scaled out, they actually had this bit here. So within 7 days of running, everything was smooth, going on. The team, the marketing team was so nervous, they were watching the stats and they could watch it in real time. Like when a TV ad ran, they could see the number of clicks and the servers scaling and all the stats in real time. Radio ad came on, so they could actually see which ads were working. Was it radio? Was it TV? Was it ad number 1, ad number 2, ad number 3? Awesome. Turned it into a real success. So there you go. Digital agency world. Has anyone ever heard of 10th Wave? I hadn't. But apparently they're a small digital agency. They also subcontract a whole bunch of work for a bunch of companies, and they look after Google and eBay and all of those. And they ran a campaign called Top Draw, the doodle Google art that gets done. They had a whole bunch of school kids draw art, and the best one would get to go on Google Art. It was awesome. So RightScale was involved in that actually also scaled the campaign. A lot of websites are designed for outbound. This is an inbound campaign. You have to think of it differently and design differently. So if you can upload something, it's very, very different than downloading. So they were involved in that, made it reliable, working, and cost controls for their client. Very important. One of the things they did with this campaign was to take a set of infrastructure they did once, and they could deploy that in multiple locations so that the kids could upload to the nearest infrastructure to them. And they actually kept that, and they could use that for the next campaign for a different customer. So they load a different CRM for each customer, but the standard environment was always the same. So you could multiply the learning that they did. Anyone heard of Cody? I knew the girls would. Rick has. I had not heard of them. But we've heard of David Beckham, right? So Lady Gaga, Katy Perry. All these people have fragrances in their name. And I was wondering how they did that. When she told me about Cody, I was wondering how they did it. Cody does it. So a company in France started in 1904, I think, and they're famous for celebrity brands. So they'll do the celebrity fragrance and market it and get it all launching out. The problem was this. They behave like a lot of large organisations that have different brands. The brand manager is in charge. I'm the business owner. I'm making this brand. I'm going to sell it this way. I signed for the David Beckham fragrance. I will get recognised for it. And I'm going to use my favourite digital agency. I'm going to use my favourite coder. And that's what I'm going to do. So after 50-odd different perfume brands, you're left with 50 different digital agencies, 50 different ways of coding and infrastructure. And they've only got a small IT team to manage all of this. We did a similar exercise for Goodman Fielder where they had 34 different brands, and we had to go and find them all and ended up hosting for most of them. But the brand manager is in charge. So they got in touch with RightScale, and now all the different brands have their own different stack for launching their environments that they need, that the developers like. And they've basically taken some of that control and put it back in the hands of IT, but they've still given the flexibility to the brand manager that if you want a Windows environment, you want a Linux environment, you want a different CMS system, these are all loaded and you can run them in different locations. In this case, different locations around the US because they're all US examples, but that's what you would do. So you could get something that's built, that's tested, that's working, that's got all the cost controls, but you can still give them the flexibility to launch it and run it. And then Kim had about 10 more slides, and I can't remember them all. So that's all you got.
Thanks, Chai. I thought we were going to have lots and lots of 10 more slides. I have to get Kim back next time.